Welcome everybody to Tyranny. This is a brand new game, just came out last week. I'm kind of excited to play this. If you know me, last year a game came out called Pillars of Eternity. That was made by the same people who make this game. Pillars of Eternity was a great game. It was very refreshing to play that again after playing Baldur's Gate so many years ago. That's an old game now. Pillars of Eternity was like a reinvention of that, and it feels good that it was there. This is sort of like that. I guess people are saying that, oh boy, we have to break our difficulty. It's not quite the same combat-wise, but there's a lot of decisions that we have to make, and apparently the decisions are very impactful to what happens. So, what is this? Trial of Iron. If Trial of an Iron is enabled, only one save slot is permitted. Oh my god. Yeah, no thanks. Don't need that in my life. And as the game crashed, it would appear as though the game has crashed. Okay, well. Alright, it looks like it finally worked, so let's figure, we're gonna find out what the story is.
For over 400 years, the armies of Kairos the Overlord have swept across the known world. All who stood against them fell before their might. Even the Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kairos' final conquest has come to our corner of the world, and two of the Overlord's armies compete for the honor of taking our lands. The elite disfavored, and the teeming horde of the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Nerat, Spy Master and Archon of Secrets, guides the fierce and undisciplined masses of the Scarlet Chorus. With each battle, the Scarlet Chorus grows stronger, as the defeated are given a simple choice: serve or die. Graven Ash, Archon of War and the Overlord's most loyal general, leads the disfavored. Though small in number, Kairos' ironclad legion has never met true defeat in open battle. Watching over the two generals is Tyranny, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, eldest of Kairos' minions. Tyranny brings Kairos' laws to newly conquered lands, aided by the Fatebinders, judges and executioners of the Overlord's laws. You were among the youngest of the court of Fatebinders when Kairos' armies came to our lands. How could we have known that the fate of thousands would rest in your hands?
Well, they've dumped a lot on our plates already, so who do we want to be? Oh, wow, okay. So I guess we'll stick with this. Do we want to be really tall or really tiny? How do we want to be? I mean, we're like... So the other thing about this game is it's kind of, I guess we're not exactly not evil, I guess, is the way to put it. That's fine. I'm not really good at appearance stuff, so I think we'll stick with that. That's good enough. Ooh, what's our portrait? Yeah, we can be pretty evil, I think, in this game. And, you know, we're a dictator, so I can accept that role-playing role. I've been nice in a lot of games. I think it's time that I flip the switch and show my true colors. I mean, not my true colors. The opposite of my true colors. My fake colors? What would that be? Which one looks more like our picture there? I guess that one's kind of close. Color's a good color of snake there. Like a purple snake. That doesn't stand out too much. How does that? Not quite. That's too close to our skin. How about a nice bright green? That's pretty good there. We'll keep going. Oh, how did we join the army? Accused of the crime you most certainly did commit, you stood before Tyranny, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, and argued your case with elegance and conviction. Impressed by your logic, reason, and confidence, he found you guilty anyways. Well, that's no good. It is rumored that Tyranny selects many of his agents from his prisoners. Which better way to catch the wicked than those versed in such ways? I like that. I don't like the idea that we got caught for a crime, though. That doesn't seem like something an evil overlord would do. But I think that's, we're gonna go with a lawbreaker. Whoa, what just happened? Did it switch? Yeah, we're a lawbreaker. Oh, so what, let's see. What kind of law did we break, maybe? Was it murder? Or was it, like, petty theft? Oh, yeah. I think we're gonna go with this. And we're just gonna, like, kill our enemies as fast with one hit as possible. What kind of skills should we get there? Oh, God. Okay, well, this is gonna take a while to finish all this, so I'll just skip all this and we'll get right into the fight. Or once we get to something more important. Okay, so now I've got all this stuff. I just put a bunch of points into basically strength, and we're really good at intimidating people. So now we get to pick if we want a quick start or conquest. And conquest, it looks like we do like a prologue, I guess. That's basically, so I want to do that. So I think we're actually finally going to start the game now.
All the world has fallen to Kairos. And now the Overlord's eye is on the Tears, our home. The last corner of the world free of Kairos' reign. Two armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, march south from the Northern Empire, the last realm to fall to Kairos a century prior. In the early days of 428, Kairos' armies arrive at the Gates of Judgment, the mountainous border that we Tearsmen so long believed unassailable. Unable to agree on a unified plan of defense, the various leaders of the Tears sit and wait for each other to deal with the conquerors, until it's too late.
During the conquest, you will decide your character's action during Kairos' invasion of the Tears, shaping the world throughout which your adventure over the course of the game. Each choice you make affects your character and how major factions in the Tears respond to you. Your decisions matter, choose wisely. 428 TR, Year 1 of Kairos' conquest. Okay. The bastard city stood in the north between blah 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 empires and Tears. Built upon a natural harbor at the crossroads between the realms, the city was a nexus of commerce. To the Tears, it was the center of all wealth. To a northerner, it was little more than a backwater trading post. Its symbolic status as a gateway to the continent made it a natural first target in Kairos. This is military conquest. Circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth as a soldier in Kairos' army. Taking this city would send a message to the rest of the Tears. Kairos' will is insurmountable. Gates of Judgment or Infiltrators? What? Do I have to pick one? First major engagement of the war, Kairos is, Alright, let's go here first. It looks like it's the, aid the disfavored scout, conscript enemy fighters for the Scarlet Chorus. History will remember the Gates of Judgment as the first battle of the conquest, but the real combat unfolded with advance of units of both armies prepared for the coming war. The Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus each had a plan to infiltrate the capital city. Which army did you join? Disfavored Scouts? I think we're in the Disfavored Scouts. We are super evil, and we like to destroy stuff, but we like order with our destruction. So we're gonna do that. Inside agent, you found an ally within the city to prepare your way for... No, we don't have allies. We only have minions is all we have. Threatens... Okay, the Bastard City's residents, fire mages, threaten the first leg of the conquest. Kairos' forces put a stop to their unchecked power. Your fiercest opponents in the Bastard City were the mages of the School of Wild Wrath, too barbaric to use their power responsibly. The unbridled practitioners need to be stopped. How did you trick the hot-tempered mages into their own undoing? I don't know. We don't really like, what is this one? You trick the guild elders into meeting? No, we don't trick people. We tell them straight up what we're gonna do. Yeah, although this is an ambush. Yeah, we're gonna go with the disfavored. They're smart. We're smart with our stuff. The mages took their more dangerous research outside the Bastard City walls. You sent a scout to sabotage the delicate ritual, which caused an explosion that injured or killed many of the senior practitioners. Enraged, the survivors expanded themselves on a chase through the surrounding hills, where the disfavored surrounded them and brought them to heel. The few that survived the attack were conscripted by the Scarlet Chorus. Betrayal of the Bastard City. Your tactics of infiltration placed you in the Bastard City ahead of the main armies. Your work softened the city's defenses for the arrival of Kyros's forces, but you wanted a decisive gesture that would give your allies a meaningful advantage. How did you assist the fall of Bastard City? Keeping the shadows, you eliminated the leaders of Bastard City one by one. Spreading the word of Kyros, you converted the poor and disaffected into hiding army of the selected course. You challenged the commander of the Bastard City defenders to an honorable fight to the death. The disfavored wished to spare the soldiers' lives for the battles ahead, and civilian lives for occupation. That sounds, ooh. Minus 50 damage for 12 seconds? Holy crap, that's amazing. It's the 1 per encounter, oh, that's why. That's still really good, though. We're gonna go with that. And that's probably the option I would have chose anyways. The City Marshal was an old but experienced fighter, and his value to the guard was an accepted truth. After making guarantees for your protection, you met him in the square of the market district and fought in the view of tense onlookers. The battle drew on longer than you thought possible. Good fortune struck when an ornamental chain hanging from the Marshal's armor snagged the quillion of his sword, granting you the opportunity to end his life swiftly. Kyros's forces celebrated your return to camp, and the dissolution of enemy morale. All agreed that the Bastard City was poised to crumble. And with just a few clicks of the mouse, we have conquered a city. Excellent. The Bastard City settled into the new state of normalcy. With every tower displaying Kyros's banner, your name was whispered alongside rumors of a decorated career to come. The armors divided into 2 fronts and migrated south. Tunon sent word that you were to join the next frontier of Kyros's conquest, either as a judge and oversee the settlement of Leviathan's Crossing, or as a war advisor with the armies advancing into the realm of Apex. Obviously, we're gonna control an army. I don't want to do some stupid judge stuff. 429, year 2. Alright. Oops. The mountain nation of Apex, ruled for generations by the queens of House Vendrian, stood at the heart of the tiers. No normal army could bypass the landlocked realm without leaving their flank exposed to attack. By the second year of the war, the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus had pushed deep into the tiers. Elements of both armies were dispatched to conquer Apex. Tunon assigned you to accompany them, asked with bringing Kyros's law to the territory, as well as keeping an eye on both armies. Man, this is turning... I wasn't expecting to be doing like playing another visual novel, but that seems to be what we're doing. The Battle of Endearing Pass. The Archon of Stone's assault was perhaps too successful. A school of mages presented problems and opportunities. I think we're going to go to a battle. The disfavored sent their most destructive ally to crush Edgearing Fort. Karen, Archon of Stone, buried the stronghold under an avalanche triggered from the surrounding mountains. The Scarlet Chorus was promised captured enemies for recruitment, yet none survived the onslaught. The chorus demanded compensation. You congratulated the disfavored for taking the pass without risking the lives of Kyros's loyal servants. At the stage of the campaign, it was vital to use any advantage that would mitigate ally losses. You upheld the Scarlet Chorus's claim and demanded that the youngest disfavored scouts join the choruses to settle the debt. So was that they killed everyone they probably shouldn't have. You know what? No, if our enemies fight back, that's not someone you want as ally, because they're going to have, if there's ever that single doubt in their mind whether or not they're on the right side, you don't want that, so you just gotta cut them down while they're there. Disfavored did it again. The Scarlet Chorus claims were insignificant compared to the lossless victory. You congratulated the disfavored and encouraged the Scarlet Chorus to better value their soldiers' lives. A suggestion that gang bosses took worse than the original offense. Vowing to remember this, the slighted army returned to the camp to sulk, if not lick their wounds. We're siding heavily with the disfavored here, which I'm okay with. The marriage bed, armament stance. A loyal customer of the tiers created a strife between Kyros's army, or Scourge of the Fallen. Scarlet Chorus's soldiers were found wearing Disfavored armor. Interesting. This one seems interesting. Scarlet Chorus's soldiers were seen wearing disfavored gear, supposedly taken from those who fell in battle. The disfavored were outraged, citing tradition that their armor passed only to the next of kin within the army. In a debate of tradition versus practicality, you had to rule in favor of one army or the other. Oh, practicality. You deny the disfavor's complaint, as the demands of war rendered such vain customs irrelevant. Lacking suitable armor, the Scarlet Chorus would retain what they had collected. Absolutely. You explained to Graven Ash and his disfavored that the army needed capable arms more than they needed rigid adherence to tradition. The Scarlet Chorus expressed gratitude for understanding their challenging position, but the disfavored took the ruling with less grace. Graven Ash returned to the camp and conducted a prolonged series of funerals rites for every soldier who fell in the conquest, bellowing their names repeated and expressing loud gratitude for the dead. After many spans of battle, the army of Apex finally agreed to peace talks. The Queen herself agreed to attend negotiation summit and invited a representative of Tunon to discuss the possible terms. How did you negotiate the enemy's surrender? I put a knife to her throat and said, "Give me everything." Through the days of mediation, you negotiated the surrender of the Valley of Kairos' forces, putting an end to further bloodshed. Taunting the Queen of Apex into striking you under a banner of truce, you baited the Queen of Apex into a duel and slew her, frightening her vassals into submission. Vassals. Yes, that does sound like what we would do. The Scarlet Chorus urged you to show the Overlord's strength by any means necessary during peace talks, as well as a well-placed insult goaded the Queen of Apex into striking you. You responded to the slight by challenging her to a duel. Though the Queen was skilled in battle, your field experience outmatched her court training. As her body lay cooling on the floor, you demanded that her followers kneel before the Overlord's banner. Unable to rise above the fear of the moment, the remaining leaders capitulated, surrendering the valley to Kairos' forces. Boom! 2 cities down. I don't know how much gameplay we're gonna actually get to go to today. Maybe this first episode will just be little story stuff. Then after that, we'll get into the real game next episode. The land of Apex finally rested in the hands of Kairos' forces. The Scarlet Chorus paused to reveal in victory, while the disfavored prepared for the next fight, affording themselves but an evening's rest. Kairos' armies radiated out from the conquered citadel and worked their way across the tiers. The disfavored and Scarlet Choruses aimed to dominate as much territory as possible in the coming year. Your distinguished reputation in Kairos' military left the choice of your next destination yours to make. Okay, so let's see. Azure, or this is Stalwart. Stalwart is, with its easily defended position and rich military tradition, the realm of Stalwart was the most formidable realm in the tiers. That sounds alluring to me. Kairos has dispatched the Archon of Stone to subjugate the nation of Azure. Kairos' conquering gaze fell upon the Valium Citadel, its treasures, its knowledge, its secrets. So this one's boring. I don't want that. This one could have something really cool in there with its secrets and stuff. That being said, I think the biggest thing, if this is like a huge military establishment in the realm, if we take that over, people are going to get scared. They're not going to want to mess with us if we can take over a military encampment, especially one that's a rich military traditional like this one. So we're going to go ahead and take that first. 430, year 3 of Kairos' conquest. The realm of Stalwart was best known for its proud army, disciplined, courageous, and undefeated on their home soil. Skills and resolve made Stalwart a military power that Kairos' fortress approached with due caution. With its southern position, Stalwart had been largely safe from war, watching for 2 years as its neighbors fell to Kairos' forces. On the dawn of the 3rd year of war, Kairos' forces were finally poised to invade the Stalwart Peninsula and subdue the tier's most vaunted army. Okay, what's this? Marching on empty, tragedy struck when hunger Scarlet Chorus' soldiers appropriated disfavored supplies. Oh, that's not good. A stinging defeat led to accusations among Kairos' army. The Stalwart defenders burned their Korops as they retreated, leaving the invaders little to forage. Starving, the Scarlet Chorus's mob raided from the Disfavor's well-maintained supply lines and incurring casualties on both sides. You ordered that the thieving Scarlet Chorus soldiers be spiked for their affront. By your command, the Disfavored shared their provisions. The thieves each lost a hand for their treachery. What? What did the Disfavored do to... By your command, the Disfavored shared their provisions. The thieves each lost a hand for their treachery. Okay. Oh, should I discipline them or should I kill them? We're gonna kill them. You can't have people stealing stuff. Just horrible. Even in time of war, there was no excuse for allied armies to battle each other in violation of Kyros's peace. The Disfavored rightly argued that they had only enough supplies to feed their troops. The Scarlet Courses needed to better look after their own people. Agreed with their assessment, you had the offenders staked outside the Scarlet Courses camp, left to send the message that hunger was no shield from justice. Alright, what do we got here? Battle, better dead than red. A string of mass suicides led to the Scarlet Courses making demands of the Disfavored. A new Scarlet Courses tactic provoke Disfavored rage. This one sounds more interesting. Ooh. I don't really... boy. They're killing themselves? That's not good. We should see what we can do about this. Rather than submit to the Scarlet Courses' conscriptions, conquered locals began committing suicide. Desperate to add more bodies to the horde, the Scarlet Courses demanded a portion of Disfavored prisoners. The Disfavored denied the right of recruitment as the realm's population had taken a steep decline. Deny the Scarlet Chorus their right to conscription? Grant Disfavored slaves to the Scarlet Chorus. What do we need slaves for? We just have to feed them and stuff. We should at least, and notifying the locals to as notifying the locals to assuage. You refused the Disfavored and allowed the Scarlet Chorus to continue recruitment. Additionally, you ordered the Disfavored camp slaves to begin the chorus to make up for the losses suffered. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We need both armies, I think. Do we? Yeah, we do. There was no need to coddle the Tearsmen. If Stalwart lacked peasants to work their fields, then families would be relocated from other parts of Kyros's empire. The details weren't important. All that mattered was bringing the war to a close in a decisive victory at any cost, to recompensate the Scarlet Choruses their losses, and to punish the Disfavored for their short-sightedness. You ordered a score of slaves conscripted into the ranks of Kyros's military. The Disfavored didn't appreciate losing good haulers to the Scarlet Choruses, but you argued that no one was telling them how to conduct their war. The Disfavored carved a slow and steady path into the heart of Stalwart and surrounded the enemy's massive fortress. With the main bulk of their forces defeated, the enemy leadership retreated to their mighty fortress, content to wait out the war. The Overlord answered this impudence with an edict of storms on the peninsula, a devastating spell that would endure for as long as the cowardly hearts of Stalwart's leaders persisted in beating. Pleased by your efforts, Tunon deemed you the proper representative to deliver Kyros's edict. Aside from being given a 3-day window to read the edict, you received no other instructions. Agreeing with the wishes of the Disfavored, you proclaimed the edict at once, leaving the enemy no time to react. Stalwart had ample opportunity to surrender for several years. The time for mercy was long gone. In an attempt to integrate themselves with the people of Stalwart, the Scarlet Chorus insisted that warning be sent to the towns and villages so that people may prepare for the horror about to descend on them. This war has been going on for 2 years. They knew this was coming. If they wanted to surrender, they could have. Yeah. You agreed with the Disfavored rationale. The leaders of Stalwart had refused honorable battle, and too many Disfavored lives were lost in the campaign. Since the last regent refused to leave the camp, you would let them watch as his people suffered. Without hesitation or regret, you broke the seal of Kyros's Edict of Storms and read the Overlord's incantation. The clear skies darkened as he read the final words of the edict. A flurry of wind and rain whipped through the rolling plains and craggy canyons, turning rocks, uprooted trees, and hapless soldiers into hazardous shrapnel. Armed with a measure of foresight, you were able to remove yourself from the area before the storms grew more violent. Over time, nearby communities told of cyclones consisting of thousands of soldiers' worth of limbs, spears, armor, and skulls. What's more, the weather showed no sign of dissipating. Several units of disfavored who fought the enemy in spite of the advancing storm were caught up in the Overlord's magic. The few survivors regrouped and nursing their wounds. The failure to topple the stalwart Legion shamed them into believing the dead more fortunate. The name Stalwart fell from use. People took to calling it the Blade Grave, for the remade landscape festooned with the iron and bronze armaments of two once great legions. As Kairos' forces departed, you spared a glance back at the ruins of Stalwart, marveling at your work. You didn't have long to rest before Tunon called you into service once more. That's why you don't mess with us. We'll turn your town military encampment into dust and bones. You have reached the end of the Kairos' conquest. Do you want to continue or erase your progress and start over? We're going to continue. I think we did a good job. And I might end this episode here. This is going to be like a prologue episode. Episode 1 is going to be next time, I think. I think that's how we're going to do this. Episode 1 is when we really get into the actual game and stuff.
The year is 431. And Kairos' invasion has shattered all major opposition in the tiers. The Younger Realms, the Bastard Tier, the Free Cities. All who defied Kairos lay broken by battle, or bowed in surrender. The two armies of the Overlord, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, now control our lands. But our will is not yet extinguished. Not entirely. In the Valley of Vendrian's Well, those of us unwilling to bow to Kairos have banded together in defiance. Violating an oath of surrender from 2 years prior, we have staged a bloody uprising, murdering the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus garrison in a midnight assault. With their main forces spread across the tiers, the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus redeploy to Vendrian's Well to crush the resistance. But months pass with no definitive battle. As disagreement and discord paralyze the Archons, we bide our time and wait for our message of insurrection to spread across the tiers. The Overlord is not amused, and Kairos has one message for the Archons: crush the Oathbreakers or die. Kairos backs this threat with an edict. A magical commandment that can slay all in the valley should the order be ignored. The honor of proclaiming this edict fell to you. Sent across the mountains to Vendrian's Well, you carry the Overlord's edict to read before the Archons. As you finally make your way through the winding mountain passes into the valley, the ground trembles, and Kairos' magic seals the way behind you. You are trapped in Vendrian's Well, with Kairos' armies and the Oathbreakers. The only way to survive is to fulfill the terms of the Overlord's edict, in any way that you can.
So that was the prologue there. So next time, we'll continue on. We'll figure out what all this stuff is. But for now, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time when the real story begins. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
I got it.